Hello everyone and welcome to the Bluegrass Trophy of Nations course preview. Joining me this week, of course, Ruaridh Cunningham, and we've drafted in superstar, former Trophy of Nations racer himself, Mark Scott. Mark, obviously neither of us have done this before. Riding as three riders on a stage at once, tricky?
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of tactics that could come in. You could all follow each other, or you can set off within the 30 seconds at different times. It just depends. Because the teams are so varied, it just depends what the riders are feeling.
Ruaridh, talk to us about this course then in Finale Ligure. I mean, there aren't many superlatives that haven't been used about this place, but this course for this weekend is pretty special.
Yeah, they've gone above and beyond this week, Rick. We're right up the very top here. I couldn't tell you the name of the peak, but the start of this trail is ecstasy and it descends down. They've called it Fast and Furious. That's the middle section that they've resurrected. 6 kilometres long and close to 1,000 metres descending, and it is not the longest trail in the race.
Mark, this is slice of you, this sort of terrain, isn't it? Long, steep.
Yeah, I rode the course yesterday and I was quite jealous. It's quite an old school day. Over 60 k's, nearly 2,000 metres of climbing in two 15-minute stages.
He did it in an hour and a half as well.
So the speed he came up there at, I thought he might have done.
Yeah.
Right, we need a team name.
Well, we figured out on the way up that you've now lived in Scotland
Yeah.
longer than you lived in Northern Ireland, so we could be Team Scotland.
That would rely on me being good at bike riding though, so I think we should go for Team Foxtrot.
That's fun.
Quick, slow. Like the dance.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Somebody else wrote that joke.
So
anyway,
we're going to get you first, and
No.
then we'll make sure you go fast. We'll pressure you into it.
No, Mark, how do you decide who goes first? Because there's no set. It's not set off rankings or anything, is it? It's a conversation you have to have as a team.
It's totally internal, so yeah, if someone's informed, put them at the front and try and hang on.
Did you go in front last time?
I was at the front last time for most of it,
He
yeah.
was just complaining that nobody else would go out front. So yeah, well, you've maybe not got as fast teammates today, but you certainly have better crack along the way. So shall we see what this first one's all about?
Yeah, cool. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, you're the one that's done this race, so on you go. I'll put the
Okay.
pressure on you.
I'm sure this will all be fine. What could go wrong?
So here we go. Top of Isa Ecstasy. Bit cloudy today. Such a good start to the race. Up high in the beech forest above Finale. Mark forgetting that the race is actually on Sunday, but never mind. Such a fun trail. Just all these corners just link together so nicely.
It's great to be back in Finale. And there's the first rim strike, which makes you know that you are in Finale.
Difficult not to admire Mark's hair from the back here. Can just see those flowing gold locks blowing in the wind. Oh, he's taken off. Woo. I ducked round that. Got excited talking about your hair and blew both my feet off in a corner.
Race on stages like this, in the Fast and the Furious, which has been completely redone for this race. So lucky. Trophy of Nations, one of the big victims of those 2 COVID affected seasons, but back for the second ever running rider and industry trophies. So that's amateur and bike industry. On Saturday, followed by the big one, the Nations race on Sunday. Traction at the moment is just perfect. Oh, a bit of compression there and it's steepening now.
around that big rock. And these little climbs, you just have enough momentum to get down and up the other side without pedalling. Hats off to the trail builders. Oh no! Ah! The wrong gear. These kind of steeper little banks, a lot narrower too. Burp. You alright? Hey? He's just he gurns like that all the time. Yeah. He thought you'd fallen off because you're gurning so much.
No, I went off the edge.
Oh, I've now lost my pace car. Right, Marky, on you again. So, new section cut in here, some nice fresh dirt. Trail builders have done an amazing job. Bit of a compression through those rocks, easy to puncture if you dead weight into it. Oh, this is so nice. For such a long stage, it's not hugely physical so far. You can certainly be conservative. And whoa, that's firm rocks, covered in dirt. Whoa. Ah! Arms pumping up a tree now. Whoa. There he is. It's a completely different stage now, isn't it? Yeah, completely different. Being a long stage, it kind of goes through almost so many like kind of ecosystems.
Yeah.
Like the beech forest at the top, fast and flowy. And you've got that kind of rocky bit in the middle with the smaller trees. And then down here in the pines, the Revenant Trail, red dirt, kind of gravelly in places as well. It's just almost like, it's like riding in 3 different places but on one trail.
Isn't the Revenant that film where your man has a terrible time with the bear?
Yeah, it's like a hairy man in agony for 3 hours. Kind of like course.
Bit like this really, isn't it? Yeah. I set him up, you knock him down. But look, Mark, your speed's going up and down. There was that rocky section where you did it throttle off a bit. It's back up again here. Is there any communication with the people in your team? I mean, you were probably...
I mean, I felt like overtaking him a few times. But
oh yeah, I'm sure you give him a good shot, yeah.
It's a tough one to call, to be honest, because you just never know. And there's that little climb in the middle, which is very narrow, and it just depends who's on it and who's not. And
we saw last time Team Canada, they kind of had preset places where someone would take the lead and take a break. And do you think we're going to see much of that on Sunday?
I think maybe Canada and New Zealand can take turns at the front. I've looked at the teams, and I think those are guys that can each lead their teams on their day.
Do you think that puts pressure on them though? Like, we know the Canadian team, you've got, you know, world champion crowned last weekend,
yeah.
Jessie Melamed. I mean, the French women's team, for example, Isabeau, Morgan Charnock.
Who goes
Melanie
first
Cruz.
there? Like
it's you know, you've got two, you know, the last race winner and 2 previous champions in one team. Do you think it puts pressure on them? Like, with 3 good riders, are they going to work together? Where someone like the Americans, like Ruaridh, he's the clear leader in that team. Are they just going to follow him? It's kind of fascinating.
We saw that before, didn't we, with Team Belgium, with Martin Mays, Bart de Vot. Like, those 2 guys were basically falling down a lift shaft all day following Martin, but it worked. He was fast enough that he could take them with him. Yeah. I think...
well, why don't you go any faster for me then?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to, but it's just not
You're going
working.
well today.
Yeah.
Going well today.
I wasn't until I hit that tree, now I feel slightly less good.
But, never happened.
So,
heard it though.
How much have we got left of this one, and does it change again, or is this kind of the red dirt, the pine trees? spot with Finale.
Yeah, this is pretty much it. It's into a lot of switchbacks now and sort of a few blind crests. And the guys will be absolutely knackered by this point.
Yeah,
And
got to have a lot of trust in the person ahead of you.
And keep your head up.
Thankfully I do.
Keep your head up as well.
This is part of my team tactics. If I don't have anybody ahead of me, then I can just have trust in my own ability to mess it up. It's good.
Good
Right,
logic.
let's crack on then.
All right. You gonna keep leading, Marky?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're all doing really well. Let's keep going.
Oh, break.
Runs wide.
Not much pedaling, just so well made to just use the gravity and just filter you down without using too much of the elevation all at once. Oh, I could probably bar dragging inside there. Oh, so nice. This point in the race, the arms will be starting to go, legs. Heart rate will be absolutely maxed. You've still got to try and be clinical, still got to try and link it all together, brake in the right places. And that's this stage.
Whoa.
How you doing?
All right, you been here long?
Nah, just arrived. Just athleticism on him, he's not even out of breath.
What a stage.
Oh, so good.
What a
So
stage.
good.
I think, yeah, last week I gave it the big ones about one of them being the best I've ridden this year, but that's just amazing.
Yeah, I think the best way I can sum it up is you don't realise how long and physical it is because it's so much fun.
You wouldn't
Like you don't actually think, oh, I'm really tired or my hands are sore. It's just so much fun to ride. You kind of forget about all that and just grinning ear
now
to
you
ear,
say
top
that,
to bottom.
it's hard to believe, Marky, that that's 6 kilometres long. It feels
I
like
know.
2 or 3, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it all rolls quite fast as well, and there's not too many lines to worry about, so you can really have fun and get stuck in.
Yeah.
Right, now we're talking about fast and rolly and speed. Should we go and do one of the icons? Men's DH, which you two will probably ride quite quickly, but it is not rolly.
Yeah,
It's not smooth.
I had a look at it yesterday and I don't remember it being that rocky and rough, so I'm glad had a little pre-ride on it, but yeah, let's
that's
make
good,
our way
that'll-
over there and
That'll come in handy for
finish
you.
at the
yeah.
beach.
All right, let's go. Come on.
Oh, he's leading.
I'll lead this bit.
I don't think he is. It's because you wear all those, it's because you wear...
Right, here we are then. Men's DH. Now this is 10th year of EWS, Finale Ligure, one of the stages. Probably, I guess, the word iconic's thrown around a lot, isn't it, when it comes
Classic.
to this place. But this is, the quintessential Finale Ligure stage.
Yeah, and quite often the final stage as well. When you get to this point, you're usually pretty tired. It is quite a physical stage, kind of flat pedal at the top, and into that really infamous, chundery, rocky bottom section with the ocean in the background. But yeah, good memories of this one. Mark, you'll have ridden it probably a few more times than me, but
You've probably ridden it more than, I was just thinking about this in the climb up.
I think I've done it every EWS
Yeah.
that's been in.
What's going through your head when you get to the top of this one? Because it's not exactly...
Yeah. You're always pretty tired by this point. This is usually the last stage, so you're pretty high on caffeine usually,
That's you all
and
the
you're a
time.
bit shaky, and you're just as soon as you get over the crest and see the crowd, that kind of gets you through the rough stuff.
Normally 4 or 5 deep on the way down here, aren't they? And this is kind of, I think for me, it was important that we came to do this one because we've just ridden an absolutely just beautiful, fast flowing, amazing, beautifully shaped trail. That's not this. This is a race stage. It's as rough as they come. And to do well down here, free up, is total commitment, isn't it?
yeah, I think it's the one thing about Finale that really stands out for me is I think it's difficult to come here in your first year and do well because the variability of the riding, like how diverse it is, the difference between the hills in the background and the rocky, exposed kind of ones that lead down to the ocean, these kind of foothills. It's so different. And like you say, you have to be good at everything. And not only that, but this weekend, you have to be with 2 other guys or girls who can do the same. And I think that's what makes it such a special place. But from a racing perspective, to do well here, it really is the true rider.
It's kind of EWS in a nutshell, Finale, isn't it? You've got to be good at all the different stuff all the way down. Right, well, let's hold on to a good thought. I think we did really well in the last one.
Yeah, I can barely see you, but...
That's good. Mostly that vision will come in useful.
Yeah.
And let's go and give one of the big ones a go.
Yeah. See you at the beach.
Everybody feeling good? Team on 3, 1, 2, 3, team. Let's go. Let's have a good one.
Final stage. See you at the beach. Aye.
See you at the beach. And David Hasselhoff's weird brother. Here we go then, men's DH. And if you've already come off it and hit your shoulder, there can be no greater reward than a run down this thing. I remember this section. Not ridden it for a couple of years, but lightning fast. And then as soon as you see the sea again, men's DH kicks off. Oh. Ah! Oh, it's so fast up here. Oh. And here we go, there's the sea. And now this place changes instantly, surfing this gravel. Front wheel, not really wanting much to do with it. And you've just got to be so assertive. Pick your moments. Oh, they've done a bit of work up here. Oh. Lump in the bike for it. It's not pretty.
That's a cracking view.
It is.
Right, we did say at the start of this that it was a tale of two halves. We've had the fast swoopy bit, we've had the slightly choppy bit, and now we're basically onto the surface of the moon, aren't we?
Not far off that.
I'm guessing this is more applicable to people of your level than my level, but speed your friend down here, Marky.
Yeah, you've got to keep rolling over the big holes. There's a lot of like wheel size drops that are better at race speed than when you just kind of practice.
Rick speed.
My speed, yeah. Not really so much the one for down here, but really, I was just riding down there and I was just talking about how this is challenging when you have 4 or 5 deep people screaming, vuvuzelas going off. Different thing again on Sunday.
Yeah, and after, what, 6 hours of riding and 2,000 metres of climbing. Yeah, really tough section. It seems to get kind of more rocky and exposed every year. I mean, the rock's one thing, like Mark said, there's some kind of wheel-sized drops in here. The other thing is it's got this kind of, do something here. It's got this kind of like gravel over the top of it.
I've noticed that, yeah.
And it's really, I mean, this doesn't do justice how steep this is. It's really tricky to kind of brake on, really easy to lock a wheel, and actually quite difficult to slow down. So
I find that too, yeah.
it is, yeah, a really tough section for the end of the race, and that's, you know, why the crowd come out here and love it so much.
I just think what I've always really struggled with this portion of this stage is to get the bike to do anything, it feels like you've got to be really, really aggressive to get it to bite in and bite through all that stuff. But at the same time, you're hurtling down it.
Yeah, you have to be quite loose. You kind of have to allow the bike to move underneath you. If you try and fight it and tense up, it will feel a lot worse than it is. You have to let it kind of go into these holes, come into you when it wants to. Easier said than done at this point in the race, especially with the with the physical top half of this stage. But yeah, really, really tough section, and one that could decide who's going to walk away as Trophy of Nations champions.
Could be a big one. We've got the scent of the sea in our nostrils. Let's get down to it.
Yep, let's do it. Ocean's in sight, and this is looser and rougher than I ever remember it being. Quite happy with how I linked that together after Jiggly. And then this last straight, just chundering down. Oh, got a bit loose on that last bit. Team Scotland defies odds and survives day in 30 degrees heat. Good work, boys.
Bush. That is as finale gets in terms of 2 stages, isn't it?
Just a bunch of screaming Italians up there and you're pretty much... Oh. Yeah.
Ah, perfecto. There we go then. 2 very, very different stages, and 2 stages that I think are Finale Ligure, the 10th year of the Enduro World Series, 2nd ever Trophy of Nations. It's this place in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty special place, arguably the home of Enduro, and yeah, what a way to finish the 2022 season.
Mark, to race this place with 2 other people, I mean, I got a little sort of buzz of it of going down with the 2 of you, but it's almost a different sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy, and especially when everyone's fired up and really on it on the day. And it's just fun, it's like you're following your mates, but at race pace the whole day.
Right, well, I think we all deserve a big sit down, maybe a glass of something fizzy. Listen, please tune in over the course of the weekend to the Enduro World Series YouTube channel for all the action from the Bluegrass Trophy of Nations here in Finale Ligure. We have racing on Saturday and Sunday, as well as on all our social media channels. Do not miss out, it promises to be an absolutely spectacular way to end the season. We'll see you there. Be interested to find out from Mark just how riding with. Oh.